How's it going, everyone? And welcome back to Sleep by the Hearth, where today gonna be discussing some old gods. Not just the expansion. We're gonna discuss the actual old gods. Talked about Cthulhu once before, so we're gonna skip on him. And we're gonna jump right to the three that have been released since then. We have Yogg-Saron, Yasarj, and Nasoth. So they seem like they're pretty interesting. And they're gonna add a lot to the game. Let's just jump right in. So, for starters, we're going to start off with Yogg-Saron. Hope's End. Well, if he's the end of all hope, then I guess we should just walk out now. Anyway, enough silliness aside. Battle cry is cast a random spell for each spell you have cast this game. Now, just want to take 2 seconds to say that I find the mechanics of the old gods and a lot of the high end or the high tier drops to be very interesting. I feel like Blizzard's trying to slow down the game to go from like an aggro heavy kind of a game to more of a slow pace, and I think that's a good thing. I think having longer games is going to be a lot better in the long run because there's, in my opinion, there's a lot less stress when you have the ability to actually think and form strategies instead of just gunning for the face. I think that's a great idea. Just wanted to get that out there and out of the way. Okay, so back to Yogg-Saron. So, for example, priests. I think this is going to be a great card with priests because priests have a ton of cheap spells. Druids do too, especially stuff like Innervate and whatnot, or even other zero costs such as Moonfire. I think would be pretty interesting, but I think priests this would be the most interesting. And depending on what else we see, it's like anything with low cast spells, this is going to be a very interesting combo. But other than that, I think other than random fun, and plus priests really like the randomness anyway, if you think about it, because priests like to steal a lot of things as it is. So in a way, this is going to steal, everybody's spells, not just your opponent's, and throw them right at your opponent. Or you. You could accidentally throw a pyroblast in your own face because of this. Okay. Phase 1 over in Twitch says, gonna talk about how these cards are gonna affect rush decks. Yep, yeah, like I mentioned, I think this is gonna slow down a lot of rush in general, and not even just Yogg-Saron, but a lot of the other cards as well. Because just before I went live with the show, I was looking at Deathwing, for example. It says, 10 mana, 12/12 Death Rattle, put all dragons from the hand into the battlefield. I think that's insane. But gotta keep on task, gotta keep on target. So, if we go over here to the statistics, Priest is actually surprisingly low. It's one of the lowest, and I'm really confused as to why that is. And rogues do have a lot of cheap spells too. I noticed in relations to the other videos, rogues are going to get a lot of play in this expansion, I feel, because they can pull off some just crazy stuff in general. And now they're going to have some great tools to do it, especially with things like Shadow Step. Imagine doing Shadow Step in this. Oh, that is just a dirty combo. I don't even want to imagine what that's going to be like. Mages, I'm not surprised. Definitely not surprised, but I'm really surprised Priest is over here. I wonder why that is. I mean, this is just kind of a general idea based on what people have already built. So this isn't even close to a final thing, because I don't know how many decks have actually been built. So, But, yeah, the rest of the spread, like Shaman, I'm not terribly surprised. Warlocks, definitely not surprising. Warrior, Druid, Hunter, yeah. Definitely all that. In fact, I can kind of see Yogg-Saron being in a Rush Hunter, in a way. But at the same time, it's so crazy, you just have no idea what's going to happen. You could end up killing yourself with this card. How messed up would that be? Turn 10, you drop Yogg-Saron, and you just end up killing yourself because of random crazy stuff. It's like the world's biggest coin flip. But honestly, other than that, mechanically, there's not a whole lot to discuss about Yogg-Saron. It's pretty much just cut and dry, Cast a spell, you have no idea what it's going to be, so it's just 10 mana, 7/5 giant coin flip. It's kind of really all there's to say. Let's see what the comments say. Alright. I will do and try everything to make this card work. Everything. I think that's what Blizzard really likes to see, is people really trying to go out of their way to make fun cards work. Because there's cards that are obviously good and cards that are obviously bad, and then there's cards that are just plain fun. So yes, making them work, that's what I'm all about. That's why I play Hearthstone. Sometimes I play to win, it's nice, but at the end of the day, if you can just do fun things, kind of like the priest deck I made the other day, it's really just all about it, what it is. Let's see. Where's my mount? You lucid dream. Oh, he's talking about the World of Warcraft, the mount Memron's head. Oh, you can just craft it, man. It only takes 1,600 dust. Craft Memron's head. Well, this card breaks the RNG scale. You can instantly win or instantly lose with it. Yep. World's biggest coin flip. Do you want to take that chance? Casino was strong with this one. I'm not sure Yorkstrom will be good, but I do know it will be very fun. Yep, that really just sums it up. We can go on, but honestly, everyone's just going to keep saying the same thing. Maybe I'll just read a couple more. No, in my luck. Does Trade Prince Gallywix get a handful of random spells? Oh, wow. That'd be interesting with Trade Prince. Trogzor. Let's see. Yeah. Not really a whole lot else to say. I guess we can move on to the other gods here. Aha, Yasarj, Rage Unbound. At the end of your turn, put a minion from your deck into the battlefield. Now, Blizzard did clarify that this will not trigger battle cries. So you have to keep that in mind when playing this. That being said, if you wanted to get a really nice death rattle out, say for example, I don't know, that nice death rattle Deathwing, or N'Zoth the Corruptor, or I don't know, a lot of other things. Corrupted Healbot, for those of you who decide not to use it in Priest for whatever reason. But yeah, so battle cries, like for example, if you had a Cho'Gall, unfortunately, that would not work because, you know, battle cries and such. So I think this is definitely one of the most interesting. I think the only problem is one, I should probably turn the music down just a little bit. I feel like it's still a little bit loud. Maybe it's not, I don't know. I have a volume set pretty low as it is. But trying to think here. What was I saying? I'm actually gonna have to go back to this list real quick. Let's compare what battle cries we have versus death rattles versus static effects. I think Yasar should be great for taunts, especially high-end taunts. For example, my new favorite taunt, which conveniently is all the way back down here. Where did it go? It is... There it is. Sagoth the Slitherer. Taunt. Can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. It's a 9 mana 5/9. Now, I love this thing because it can't be targeted. Granted, you can still target it with silences from things such as Iron Begal. But that's really about it. So, no, N'Zoth is a battle cry and a death rattle. So you can actually... Oh, no, it is a battle cry. I thought it was one of the ones that had a combination of both. I'm sorry. Because I read the bold death row. I thought it was like Toshli, where it was battle cry and death rattle. See, I haven't read N'Zoth in like 2 weeks, so I forgot exactly what he did. Sorry about that. Trixerino pointed that out in the chat. Thank you for that. Silly me. Okay. So back to Yasarj. But things, for example, if you Yasarged a Scaled Nightmare at the start of your turn, double this means attack. That'd be pretty good. Pretty much anything that's above, I don't know, 5 mana, in my opinion, would be pretty good to pull out at the end of the turn. Why 5 mana? I don't know, I just kind of went with that. Usually everything good, or you know, good that's expensive, is 5 mana on up. But I think Yasarj will make death rattle decks be a thing again, especially in wild. I mean, I'm not really going to focus on the wild format. I'm going to focus on standard, but I definitely think that is a pretty crazy deal. I'm trying to think what else is there that has a good static effect or a good Death Rattle. Imagine pulling out a Ragnaros the Light Lord. Oh my god, that would be great. That would be absolutely insane. Yeah, you get the idea. In fact, let's look at Druids. Ramp Druid. This is Ramp Druid the card. Definitely. This is going to be an insane thing. I'm trying to think what would keep a Druid alive long enough to see this. Would we see a Reno, Jackson, Yasarj? Because the only problem is, well, I mean, if you draw a Reno and you hold on to it, because it's from the deck, it's not going to pull something from your hand. So as long as you get a Reno before turn 10, you'll be fine. This would be a great Druid Reno kind of card, in my opinion. I'm trying to think what weaknesses this would have. I mean, the stats are solid. 10 for 10 all the way around. That's just a pretty solidly statted thing. But obviously silencing it or just using anything to polymorph it or whatever is going to set it back a lot. But I think that shouldn't be too much of an issue. I think this actually would be kind of fun in Mage with Echo of Medivh, but I forget if that's a classic card or not. I'll have to look at that at some point. We have deck type Theorycraft. Yeah, I can't imagine why that's in the Theorycraft slot, slash the control slot. But once again, I'm kind of surprised Priest Solo. I guess definitely feels like it could be a really solid Priest card. Warriors, I could definitely see this being a warrior card. Warriors have a lot of good statics. For example, Obsidian Destroyer, which will summon out even more taunts. So it's like, you know, summon cards that get even more cards kind of a thing. I apologize, there's people walking by outside, but I need the window open because it's really, really warm in here. Okay. Anybody else? Oh, Echo of Medivh's Goblins and Gnomes. That's unfortunate. Not terribly surprised. Well, I guess you can play it in Wild. It's not completely rip. Yeah, trying to think. God, I can't believe there's like more statics that haven't been revealed. This, whenever this minion kills another minion, you may attack again. But yeah, basically, if you just want to summon other big things, or heck, if you just want to summon other gods, and even if you don't get the battle cry of, well, I guess his stats are bad. But, and his all stats are bad, technically speaking. Yeah. If you just want to be able to chance summon out, you know, tons of giant dudes, this is your way to go. This is, like I said, Ramp Druid the card, and I guess I'll just move on out through here. Okay. And finally, N'Zoth the Corruptor. Once again, making Death Rattle become a big thing. In fact, I think we could even combo this with Yasarj, as long as, you know, if you play out Yasarj first, that you don't accidentally get the N'Zoth. But that's for another time, I suppose. Yeah, summon your Death Rattle minions that died this game. So, I definitely think this is going to be pretty interesting. But we're also losing a lot of good Death Rattle when we lose an Axe. So in Standard, this will be a decent card, but it won't be crazy. Now that being said, let's come back over real quick. I think there's a way to organize them. Maybe there's not. Current release cards, build a deck. Let's go to the current release cards, see if we can actually collectible. I just want Death Rattle. There we go. So we have all of this. So N'Zoth. It's gonna get to bring back Deathwing, which is obviously the big one. Granted that you can, you know, pull a Deathwing from your packs with a N'Zoth. Infested Tauren, I think, is definitely going to be an interesting one. Actually, now we do have a lot of good Death Rattles. I'm just crazy. So yeah, N'Zoth's going to have some good play. All these cards are going to be pretty good. Polluted Hoarder, I love this card. It's a bit more aggressive. And once again, you know, it's like the Loot Hoarder. Shifting Shade, copy a card from your opponent's deck. That was pretty decent. Twilight Summoner, I forgot about this. Death Rattle, summon a 5/5 Faceless Destroyer. Imagine that coming back. That'd be really fun. Spawn of N'Zoth. That's another neutral. Undersea Huckster is the rogue. Add a random class card to your hand. Tentacle, deal 1 damage to all minions. And then Possessed Villager is just funny. That art's like so freaky though, I kind of like don't want to put that on my deck just because of the art. No, it's kind of a silly thing to say. But yeah, I definitely think N'Zoth will see some play even combined with classic cards. Not to mention we still have League of Explorers and Argent Tournament, so there's still gonna be a decent amount that this can combo with. And just imagine you having a Brand Bronzebeard down with N'Zoth the Corruptor. If you, I mean, granted, if you have a ton of things that died with Death Rattle, you're probably gonna fill your field anyway. But still, it's absolutely insane. Unfortunately, it doesn't work on weapons. Not that you really need it for tentacle for arms. Okay. All right. Let's go back. N'Zoth is going to be played a lot. Looks like in Rogue. There we go. Finally getting that priest play. And Hunter. Oh wow, we're actually got a really nice spread of things over that in Paladin. I'm trying to think what in Paladin is any good. No death rattles here. Must be some death rattles. Oh, I'm thinking, ooh, you know what I thought? N'Zoth plus Tyrion. Ooh, that gives me a reason to really gun for Tyrion. Oh man, it's gonna be a fun day. That's crazy. And then on top of that, imagine having N'Zoth, and then what you do is you use the pandas to bounce them back, and then you just keep getting more Tyrion forgerings. That would just be completely crazy. My god. I feel like, I never did go to the comments on Yasarj. We'll go back to him in a minute. Alright, so let's go down to the comments. We'll resummon a Nubarak as many times during the game. That'd be halal for a hilarious combo. I think a Nubarak's an 8-4 from what I remember. If I put Soul of Force on my minions, will they come back to life with this battle cry? Oh wow. Soul of Force is yep, it is a classic card. As stated in the announcement, it will resurrect silence death rattle minions or normal death rattle minions, but does not. Oh, not ones that gain death rattle. That makes sense. That and what's it called? The I think it's Ancestral Spirit in Shaman, the one that grants a death rattle. That would be too crazy. Okay. Fun fact, N'Zoth appeared in Hearthstone before appearing in WoW. That is kind of funny. Let's not forget that Twilight Summoner 1155 guy. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one that'd be fun with. I can see every priest running at least one Master Spell. Yeah, that'll definitely be a thing. Master Spell is classic. Light Bomb, though, you won't get to play that. Fortunately, we're fortunate if you're playing N'Zoth, but the lack of Light Bomb. Yep. So OP, even standard, he is Deathwing, Dragonlord. Yep. Oh yeah, I forgot Sylvanas. Imagine that. Cairn. Yeah, there's a lot of good things that are going to combo with N'Zoth. Yeah, Sylvanas, Tyrion Forging is pretty much the deck. I think that's all you even need. That's freaking crazy. All right. So let's move on. No. Okay. So it looks like that covers everything. Let's go back to Yasarj. At the end of your turn, put a minion in the deck into the battlefield. Let's go down his comments because I know a lot of people had questions about Yasarj. One is Blizzard, leaning away from the lore. Come on, dude, it's a card game. It's a good card, but not in comparison to the faster, more reliable Old Gods. Odds are that your opponent is threatening lethal by turn 10. I honestly think the meta is going to shift really hard, and we won't be seeing aggressive metas. I'm hearing a lot of noise go by my window. Not very satisfied at the moment with it. Maybe it's not coming in too much for you guys. That's really the important part. Your opponent plays Cthulhu, you can't play your stars to follow it. You have to deal with this threat. On the other hand, you could play N'Zoth, get 3 or 4 instant free minions. You at least one with Taunt. I honestly think anybody running N'Zoth is already going to have a ton of things to do with other threats and other ways to survive. So it really just depends on how you build it. The problem is with looking at these cards in isolation, and that even includes right now, is it's really hard to look at any card and think how 29 other cards are going to synergize with it. So looking at it under a microscope in a vacuum, which I don't even know if that's a thing, but because if it's in a vacuum and you use a microscope, would the vacuum break the microscope? But anyway, science aside, you know, it's kind of hard to really, unless I had every single card pulled up alongside me, which is originally what I wanted to do, but we're getting so close to the release that, I don't know, might as well just talk about what I can, and yeah, I missed out on a lot, but I've been so busy. I hate this card. This is exactly what I need for my Priest Resurrect since I'm losing Kel'Thuzad. Lots of removals. Which one was Resurrect? Okay, so Resurrect is from Blackrock Mountain, so we're going to be losing that. Unfortunately, but oh well. Feel like the ability set at the end of your turn, put a man, activates Battle Cry. Yeah, that'd be way too OP if you could activate Battle Cries off of it. Way too OP. It's a great way to get out taunts though. There's a lot of good taunts that you could use. Thinking about Control Warrior. Oh yeah, definitely do Control Warrior. Let's see. Problem is everyone is thinking of the current meta and thinking, oh man, it doesn't work because of this. It's like, dude, you're just, you got the meta that you're currently dealing with in your head, and you're also not thinking of all the other cards that have come out. Plus this card came out, I think a couple weeks ago, at least, and that was before a lot of the other cards like Deathwing, for example. I think that actually was one of the more recent ones that came out. So we're going to clear the filter, we're going to go back, just to remember. Oh yeah, all of the cards. But yeah, oh wow. Golem Egg. What? But imagine running it in a giant stack. Was it N'Zoth? No. Yeah, imagine running Azars in a giant stack. That would be insane by itself. You would be able to run every giant, tons of them. You could also do... Oh, some of these are also... Yeah, these aren't playable cards. Okay. Gotcha. It's just every data mine card in the game. Doesn't necessarily mean anything. I'm trying to think. Because, for example, what if it pulls out... What else would be good? A Ysera. Now that'd be fun. It pulls out a Ysera and then you get the Ysera card on top of that. That'd be pretty crazy. What else would be good? Armbar Protector. Right, yeah, pulling out a Ragnaros. That'd be insane. Pulling out a Ronin. That'd be insane. We won't be able to pull out Sneeds. I think that's... You get the idea. There's gonna be some great things coming out of your Sarge. N'Zoth as well. Once again, we go back and we look at things like Shoma. For those of you running Dragon. And then let's continue on for just a second. Malorn, that'd be pretty interesting. Imagine getting tons of Malorns. In fact, you know what? I can just filter Death Rattle into this right now. Come on, where are you at? Let's just get it all in one. There we go. Here's what we get out of N'Zoth. Except we should probably get rid of Goblins and Gnomes. Like we'll just do... Oh well. Cannot do Classic right now, I guess. We'll just have to use our judgment as we go. But yeah, you get the idea. I am officially just kind of taking up time for the sake of taking up time. So, before I go, if anybody in the chat has any questions or any comments, leave them now. I'm about to wrap things up, and then we'll get to any questions and comments that you do leave. I know it's going to take a minute for you guys to see it. I pray and hope that this video was decent. I know I kind of skipped around a bunch, but that's kind of what I do. I mean, half the purpose of this is ASMR, so, you know, it's not exactly the most organized fashion. Maybe I'll redo this at some point, and if I do, I'll just delete this version and then give you the real version at a later point in time when I make it more organized. Or I might not, and just focus on the gameplay, because who knows. Lately, my recording schedule has been so sporadic that I kind of just record what I can and then go from there. So, alright, give the chat another second here, but I just wanted to say, as I prepare to send off, that I want to thank you guys not only on Twitch but on YouTube as well for sticking around this long by the end of the video if you have. And on top of that, just thank you in general for stopping by. It means a lot to me. I love when you guys watch. I love when you guys leave comments. You know, it always makes me really excited when I wake up in the morning and I see a couple people have commented on a video and I get to respond. It always makes the start of my day that much better. So hopefully I can keep out even more videos, and that means maybe more comments and more just fun in general. Not to mention, you know, the more videos I put out, hey, stuff you guys will actually get to watch. So I think as far as the YouTube side of things, we'll end it here. Twitch, I'll stick around for just a few minutes, and I don't know, maybe I'll just play like a Twitch only game of whatever. So gotta get here for them Twitch streams. I know they're so sporadic you can't count on them, but one day I promise. And I'll see you guys later.